Hi, my name is Crystal Kennedy. I am an IT professional. I've been in lots of different leadership roles over the 40 years I have been in this profession. Currently, I am working for PepsiCo at their global headquarters in Purchase, New York, and I serve today as the Director of Global Strategy, Portfolio, and Transformation as an embed into the beverage business. A few years ago, in the beverage business, they acquired a very large, really, it was actually three bottlers and wanted them integrated into their IT departments integrated into IT. I was asked to provide a leadership example, and this is something that came to mind because it was a very large endeavor with multiple companies within, and then the company I was reporting to and the companies that were now joining PepsiCo. So, where do you start in something like this? For me, as having this assignment, what I did first was identify the key stakeholders, decision makers, and influencers, because not everybody who's in a leadership role or title um, doesn't mean that they don't have influence and be able to provide leadership. So you look for those. So really assessing and looking for who were those stakeholders, those key stakeholders was first, and then creating a plan to address the the who, what, why, when of the benefits and why we were going to do this, how we were going to do it, what was required of them, when they needed to do it, and it was all about selling that they needed to speak the same language as PepsiCo, and it was also an opportunity for a lot of the IT professionals that were in this other company to be able to learn new ways and to learn some best practice industry standards that PepsiCo had incorporated a couple years before that. So one of the first things that I did was really listen to their way of doing the work. What did, how did they do things? What was unique about their business model? Um, because they wanted to be heard. So the first thing was a lot of individual meetings. I set up meetings with the key decision makers, with influencers, with just the people who were on the floor actually doing the work. How did they feel about this new transition? What was this transition going to be to them? So it was a lot of finding those key roles and then convincing them and working through them, having a sell sheet, being able to tell them um, and convince them that this was good for their organization, and then had them each cascade the whys and the benefits of this new methodology and governance and new syntax of how we're going to work as an entire company, as a global company. So I scheduled one of the key things that we did as far as leading this organization into this transformation or change management, everybody calls it something a little bit different, was that I created a role-based training curriculum. So instead of having everybody take every course that was required or the whole, gamut of learnings, we really focused on what kind of role do you have and where would you really need this type of tailored training. So it was really about making sure that everybody didn't have to take every bit of training, but really focus it on the people that needed it and would put it to work right away. And while this is a very ineffective approach as far as people's time and communications, because it was a lot of coordination and a lot of continuous follow up and be able to talk to people, get feedback after every session. How could we improve it? What things could we mention in the training that would help the next group? So, through all that, um, we had everybody actually attend the training, felt good about it. We created a ceremonial certificate for those that created these role-based, the complete sequence of training for this role-based training. And it ended up being a very successful transition for these 300 people to be able to learn what they needed to learn, only learn what they needed to learn, and be able to know that they were being listened to and that it was accepted by the rank and file as well as the leadership team. The executive leadership team actually knew they had to do it. It was just like, we know we have to do this, but being able to get everybody from the top to the floor to be able to have everybody um, understanding took a lot of work and a lot of leadership and a lot of um, communications at all levels. But it allowed this new organization to feel like they had some control. They all kind of knew they had to do it, but they had control through this approach. So me developing that approach, being able to provide the communication and the leadership allowed really an effective, maybe not efficient, but a very effective way to a very large organization to be able to get assimilated into the PepsiCo way of doing IT in a very short amount of time. And in recognition of that, I was awarded the Crush Can Award, which is a very big award at PepsiCo. And if you can see, it's a crush can of Coca-Cola. So that is my example of leadership that I wanted to share with you.